Okay, welcome to Eden Healing, where we have a conversation that promotes healing, true identity, and Genesis 2 and 25, becoming naked and unashamed, so that we are living as the Most High intended. In this episode today, we will be discussing loving self, which is self care, advocating for self. And to get started, I would like to welcome our guest, Brad. So, Brad, if you could tell us just a little bit about yourself and why this particular topic spoke to you.
Um, Again, I'm Brad. Been friends with Patricia for a long time. Military man. Just to give y'all a little bit of background on me. This will be 21 years. April. I've been in the
Wow.
military. It's my last year in. Um,
Thank you for your
no problem.
service.
Patricia's always been a go getter, and
Mhm.
she has a lot of brilliant thoughts. So
Thank
when
you.
she offered the opportunity to jump on a podcast with her, I was always ready. Time now
Mhm.
just presented itself. No timing like God's timing. So
Mhm.
this was a time both our schedules aligned, and
Finally.
when
Yeah.
she sent me the list of topics, self care jumped out a lot to me because it's just been something I've been
Mhm.
working on, and I finally feel free enough to talk about it. So
Mhm.
let's get into it.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Let me just okay. Yeah. So I think the most important question to start with is what does it actually mean to love self? Right?
Right.
Like because some people it's like, oh, I love myself, I'm gonna do this for myself, da da da. But there are different ways that people might define what it means to love themselves. What would you say? And I mean, it's there's no, I don't
Right.
think it's any right or wrong answer, but what would you say is a definition um, for what it means to love self?
I agree with you. I think like a lot of people have a lot of different definitions of what self love is. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
in my case, what I think self love is choosing to do things that better my life spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
mentally, and physically, no matter how hard the task may be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel self love requires a certain level of discipline. Like when we say a lot of people don't really understand what self love is, they like, I love myself, so girl, I'm gonna treat myself on this trip. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna take myself out of town. Well,
Mm-hmm.
those immediate relief of pressure of you going out of town and taking these trips do feel like self love because you're having fun in the moment. But
Yeah.
if you're struggling financially on the background, did you really practice
Mm-hmm.
self love, or did you,
Yeah.
you know? I think those terms get conflicted a lot. So
Mm-hmm. So I guess my question would be, what is that? What is that thing? When they're like, oh, I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna get a new PS. Are we on the sixth yet?
no,
It's
it's
just
still
okay.
still
Getting
five, still five.
like getting a new PS5, this, that, and the other. Like, what is the line? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that definition so
Right.
that people can understand this is self love and this is more so the other thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, I think that it's important to define what the other thing is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to caveat by saying if you're financially stable and you can afford to do these things, that is fine, right? That's
By all
absolutely
means,
fine. Let's
yes,
go on that trip.
yes.
Let's go to the beach. Let's buy
Mm-hmm.
the new PS5 or the Xbox. I'm an Xbox guy myself.
Okay,
But
okay.
I don't. So like, I think people get it confused with self love. It's not self
Mm-hmm.
hate. I just think it's a confusion point there. Like I don't know. I can't put a particular phrase or word on
Mm-hmm.
it to just define that. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah.
when it comes to self love, there's a level of education we have to do to ourselves. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of digging deep to find out what do I really need, right?
Ooh, that's
What do I
good. That's good.
right? I think you have to explore
Mm-hmm.
my needs versus my wants, right?
Yeah.
And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people coming from where we come from or our culture always have moved out of survival.
Mm-hmm.
So in that time, going to that beach trip may
Mm-hmm.
have been self love because I need to
Mm-hmm.
get out of my environment of survival.
Yes,
But as you grow, your definitions grow. I don't think
I
self
agree.
love is a self sustained definition. I think it has fluidity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
not in a whole definition, but in what it looks like.
Mm.
So as I get older, this self love looks different than when I was younger as a child or as a teen or adolescent trying to figure it all out, where self love was needing for me to run away from the pressures before I succumb to them. Where now I need to do something different now that I'm a little bit more stable because that's what I used to do, but that's not also the same self love that I need.
And I love that that you said like the difference of what do I need, what do I want, and like watching content that I've put out. I love journal prompts, so we're gonna throw some journal prompts out there. I would say for this conversation, maybe as you're listening to us, start a list. What do you want, and what do you need? And then that way, as you're praying through, guiding yourself through that conversation, it'll maybe some light bulbs will go off where it's like, okay, this is my need list seems to be a lot heavier than my want list, or or vice versa. So, but I love, man, I love everything that you're saying. It's like so many different directions we could go. I would say. So the whole idea of, okay, I'm just gonna take a trip. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna do this or whatever. That's just treating self. So there's treating self and loving self. Right. And I think that just to kind of put a label to it, treating self versus loving self. And loving self takes a little bit more intimacy because you can say, I'm going to buy this thing. But after you play it into the ground, this new game, or you get like a new new car. Oh yeah, like a new car. Like you're tired of driving it, or then gas is like $5.88. Then you're like, okay, I'm over it. Does that mean then I don't love myself? You know what I'm saying? Right. So we have to draw the line of, okay, this is loving self, and this is just treating myself.
Right. And I like the fact that you said that, right? Like treating. That word stuck out to me when you were saying it because it made my mind go to, you're absolutely right, where self-love may be the diagnosis that you need to do, but all these things that we're doing thinking that we're giving self-love, we're treating something other than self-love, right? It's just like the medical industry, right? Like when you go to the doctor, they sometimes care about the root cause of what you got going on, but they're not trying to figure out how to stop it or prevent it from happening. They're trying to treat the symptoms, right? So when I'm looking for self-love, instead of me doing a deep diagnosis and being honest with myself, I'm just treating the symptoms of not loving myself, right? Yeah. Now I'm going on this trip. I'm showering myself with gifts because it feels like I'm loving myself. When go back to that list that you said we need to make. What are my needs and what are my wants? Right. And they can coexist. You can have some that has that middle block, them little graphs we used to make where they share certain traits.
Oh, the Venn diagram. Right. Yeah.
So they can, some of them can be the same. Your needs and your wants can be the same. But I'd like people to take this from it. You have to absolutely want to take care of your needs. Right? So I think that's the best foundation of starting towards my self-love. Having to want to take care of my needs. Right?
Whoa. Having to want to.
Right.
And I think, again, when we were talking before we started, like June is Men's Mental Health Month. And I feel like sometimes with dealing with depression and heaviness mentally, you don't want to take care of yourself. Right. So it's like it's all kind of combined. Like mental health helps with like proper mental health. Helps with loving self. So like if your mental health is poor, you won't take care of yourself. Every time I see those videos online, they're like, oh, these are signs and symptoms of depression. You don't want to shower. You don't want to comb your hair. You don't want to eat. So that's not taking care of self because of the whole mental um, where would you say self love begins? From inception or is it conception?
Right,
It's conception,
right,
right?
right.
All the way till present day. Where does self love start?
It starts in the home, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we're born, we're a blank slate.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We're taught religion.
Yeah.
We're taught manners. We're taught morals. We're taught
Mm-hmm.
all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, to caveat back to what we said earlier, if I'm brought up in a house of survival,
Mm-hmm.
I'm teaching you how to survive. I'm not teaching you how to value yourself, how to love yourself. I'm teaching you how to sustain yourself to get to the next level.
Yeah.
I think where self love comes in is the first time you realize what it is. You know what I mean? Like if I never told you that you come from struggle until you got out of struggle, you would never know that you were in struggle, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you never knew what self love was
Mm-hmm.
because you moved from a place of survival or trying to get to the next thing, then once I get out of the things that I was surviving from, I don't know what self love was in the first place.
Right.
Right. So
wow. Yeah.
I think it comes with a level of awareness when you sit down and realize and like why, because life happens in patterns, right? So like, why does the same pattern keep happening to me? How do why do I keep finding myself back on this same block, right? Or this same thing? And I'm not saying self love is the only reason you could be there, but I think it could be an integral part of why you're there because I don't know how to love myself directly enough to grow, right? And I also think self love can roll into everything requires depth to grow. Death to
Man,
ego.
You are preaching.
Death to ego, right? Death to self harm, death to self hatred. All of that has to die for you to grow. But since they're so opposite terms, people don't feel like they gotta kill a certain part of themselves to love themselves. Right? The trees don't grow if they don't lose the leaves. You know what I mean? The certain fruit trees won't bear fruit until the other fruit falls off. That's just how life is.
Come on,
some
preacher.
things have to die in order for you to grow, right? So a lot of people that haven't got to that epiphany of, dang, you know, I'm not loving myself correctly, haven't killed off the certain parts that are so big in their life that won't allow them to see that what they're doing to themselves.
That is so deep. So that's another journal prompt. What do you think needs to die off so that love can live within you? Self love can live within yourself. Like, and some people may not know how to answer that question. Like, I don't know what needs to die within me. The best way to know what's turning brown, what's withering in your life right now. Like that would definitely be, some items to start with on that list. You know, and going back to, were you gonna say something?
Yeah. So they may not be able to see what's dying, right? I would urge them to see what consumes the most of their mental power. What consumes the most of your time that's preventing you from reaching the goals that you are. Start there and explore that in your prompts or your journal, right? Like, okay, if I'm always constantly thinking about money, I can't think about faith. I can't think about growth. I can't think about other things in my life, right? If I'm now, you'll have to flip and go into that. Why am I always thinking about money, right? Or why am I always thinking about this? And why am I always thinking about that? Find a way to find balance into your life, and that's when you know you got to cut off, shave off some parts, and some stuff you might not have to kill completely, but you got to appropriate the right amount of time to certain things, right?
So y'all heard Brother Brad. That was an amendment to that assignment.
I would say a full amendment, but just things to keep in mind when you're doing that assignment.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Y'all heard them. Okay. I wanted to go back to what you said about if you grow up in the struggle. Of course. So, like that whole topic, I do want to say, for any of us who did experience that, is sometimes it's a generational pattern where they can only do what they were taught or what they had. So it's like we can easily blame, like, oh well, I only was taught to, and I'm not saying that to you, but
Mhm.
oh, I'm only taught, I was only taught to live through the struggle, da da da,
Right.
because that's what they had to do.
Right.
Because obviously, if they came from a wealthy family,
Mhm.
possibly they wouldn't have to struggle and
Mhm.
teach you how to the child to struggle.
Mhm.
Is it reminds me of, well, not necessarily the struggle, but the whole childhood thing, like your upbringing. There was a video that I saw a few years ago where this lady, she was doing like some type of lecture on why we are the way that we are now, and she was saying that if a woman did not receive love as she was growing up, like when she was a little girl and growing up, if she didn't receive love, she may begin to get love for what she thinks is love later on in life, and it's like a toxic relationship. And the woman in the video was pouring, into all of those um, visual examples where she was pouring. She said if she never received enough, it was like the girl's cup wasn't full, so that means something else needed to replace it to make her full.
Right.
So again, going back to the topic of loving self, if you didn't learn it, or if you didn't know what it meant to love at all, and it was only about struggle, it was only about like if a child grew up and they were taking care of their parent, so that may not necessarily be struggle, but that was
That's their
being
struggle, though. That's their struggle.
you okay,
You know what I mean?
so
Because I think struggle, just like self love, could take on different definitions. Depends on who it comes from.
I see what you like, a
Because-
challenge.
Right.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
there's many people that grew up rich and wealthy that struggled just like we did, just in a
That's
different
true.
way. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
And I want to go back before I lose this thought about
yeah.
when you were saying, if you've grown up this way and that's the only way you know. I'm 100% agree with you with that, right? But I will say this: there's no self love without self accountability.
Ooh.
So when you reach that point in your life, right, where I can pinpoint why I am the way I am, now you have an accountability and a responsibility to change that
fix it. Yeah.
for you. Right? And one of my best friends, I know he wouldn't mind me talking about this. I ain't gonna say his name.
Yeah,
but
okay.
he's almost 40 now, right? And a lot of the time we talk on the phone, he was like, Mom never taught me this. Dad never taught me that. This is why I'm right here. This is why I'm right here. I said, okay, your mom and dad never taught you that or never gave you that up until age 20. You have 20 years on your own knowing the things that they didn't do. When are you going to put the onus back on you to take care of the things that you weren't taught? And if you feel it's something that you needed to know, explore it and go learn it. Because now you have the capability as a grown adult to go do that, right? So I'm the most, compassionate person that people will meet, right? I'm never going to say, oh man, snap out of it, get into this, right?
Yeah.
I try to find the words and the pathway for you to understand. If I feel like I know what I'm talking about or the knowledge to know what I'm talking about, sometimes people cannot understand on the level that you're giving out information.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it goes into communication to where communication, they always say communication is a two-way street. Take listening and then this and that. But communication is probably the most complex web that we've ever had in life. Because when you're hearing something, I'll take it back to my professor in college. They call him the godfather of kinesiology. He wrote 70% of the books on kinesiology, right? So with his specialty being exercise field, right? Exercise physiology. Learning from him, his baseline is trillions and trillions of eon brain power higher than my baseline.
Yeah, yeah.
If he doesn't have an innate ability to get the information to me in a way I can consume it, I will never reach the levels that he intended me to reach. Right? So that's what I mean.
Meaning he needs to communicate well enough for you to, okay.
Well, not even, he has to, when you have a lot of people, you have to figure out how to communicate to them individually on the way that they can receive it. And that's
because
hard in that setting, right?
Is different, yeah.
I run through that when I go into coaching. I run through that when I go into coaching, right? Because if I got a team, 8 people, all of them learn differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they all learn differently, I got to figure out how can I communicate the exact same message 8 different ways
Yeah.
to 8 different people for them to accept it, right?
Right.
So before we get too far off target, go all the way back, we have to get that self accountability, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now I know, dang, you know what? I dealt with a lot of different women growing up because I had no love from my mom or my sisters or no real female connection from my family members growing up. And it was a void and a hole that I was seeking to fulfill. So I ran across a lot of women.
Yeah.
But the moment that I realized that I have a responsibility and accountability to myself to change that. Because not only am I moving out of hurt, now in turn I'm hurting other people, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally. Right?
Yep.
And that's all I mean by that. Like, once we get to the point where we realize or we can pinpoint, let's not play the blame game. Let's play the understand game, right? Like, mom may only could give you everything she got. She may have given you 110% of what she got. Maybe she never even had that last little tool that you needed to get over.
Right.
You got to give her grace for that. But now that you pinpointed what you did, don't pass that on to your kids. You learn, fix it within yourself, so you making sure they got what you need, right?
Yeah. Man, we should have been did this. I'm telling you. So I love that you brought up accountability because a lot of times people do the whole victim thing. Like, well, I'm this way because da da da, or I don't know how to love anybody because I don't love myself, you know. And I'm glad you said that because that will help encourage people like, hey, if you're sitting in a bad situation because of the fact that you don't love yourself, it's important. Take that accountability. If you need to pray, like, look, I'm mad. I hate how this happened. Abba, Father God, just help me. Help me. Show me how to take accountability. Or if you're struggling to take accountability, pray and ask them. Like, send me accountability partners. Like, that is like such a buzz phrase, like accountability partners. Because sometimes you need somebody to tell you, no, you cried for 10 minutes. Okay, now let's talk about the solution. Right. So when it comes to self-love, remember, we have to remember, like, okay, let's not wallow in the why I struggle to love myself. Now it's as an adult, like, all brain functions going, no excuse.
Right. When you said pray for guidance, right? I want y'all to caution this now because when you ask, right, be prepared to receive what you ask for, right? So as God, you pray to God to help me with accountability. God's not gonna wave a magic wand and make you accountable. He's gonna put you in situations over and over and over again that you should be accountable for and make you challenge yourself enough to be accountable. And if he sends you somebody that's an accountability partner, don't wave them off. Oh, you're not like me. You don't understand. You just don't understand where I'm coming from. No, you prayed for this.
You forgot you prayed it. Yeah.
You prayed for this. If you prayed for this, it's important to be willing to receive what you paid for.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me think, like, Brad has been like an awesome friend, like, over the years. Like, like, it's been different situations. Like, if I were to talk to him, he would, for like 10 seconds. Oh, I hear you. Yeah. But, and then after the 10 seconds, he gives solutions. To me, that's like accountability. Instead, you can let your friends wallow for 10 seconds, 10 minutes, depending on the situation. But it's like you eventually, as an accountability part, because even if you're listening and you're like, oh, I love myself. God didn't deliver me, da, da, da. You're a part of this dialogue. You're a part of this conversation. You may have a part in this whole, conversation where you may be the person sent to help somebody else on their journey to self-love. So just remembering, okay, give them some time. Because, they say, oh, tough love is needed. But sometimes it's like, your person, like Brad was saying about the teacher. You have 8 different students. You might have to teach or train them in 8 different ways.
Mhm.
So, as an accountability partner, know your person. Especially if God gives you someone as an assignment and you're there to help them. But how do I help this person? Because this person is a little bit more sensitive. This person has a tougher exterior, so you have to approach it in a different way. Give them some time, but then start
Right.
the
And
whole.
everybody grieves and deals with stuff differently.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Patricia told you, she said, I give her 10 seconds. I give her a little longer than that, right?
Yeah.
But I tell everybody this: when you're going through something, if you know that the thing that you're going through, you can't allow it to consume you or overtake your life, put a time limit on it, right?
Yeah.
My thing, and your time limit could be different because my thing is, right, if I have something so drastic that it's taking over my whole mind, I'll take off 2-3 days of work, shut everything down, feel everything I need to feel.
Yes.
But that is my expiration date. After that, I have to go get it. I have to go back because I got people relying on me. I got a family. I got kids.
Right.
I cannot allow life pressures and life situations to shut everything down.
Yep.
So take that time, pray, meditate, feel all the feelings. If you need to cry for 2 hours straight. I don't care. Get in the shower, wash them off, cry again. But whatever expiration date you set, that I'm not going to let this take over my life anymore, you're going to still feel whatever you're feeling, but you can't allow it to consume you, right? And that's part of self-love, too. It's feeling all the feelings, right? And I tell people this all the time. Your feelings are always real, but they're not always true. What I mean by that is, if I did something to hurt Patricia, right? Whether it be intentionally or unintentionally, she's going to feel hurt or upset. And it could have been something I just said that she just didn't agree with. She is absolutely right in those feelings. Those feelings are real. She felt upset.
Yeah.
But now I challenge Trisha to investigate. Why am I feeling upset? Was it just the delivery? Was it what he said? Or whatever? You know what? Brad, I know Brad to always mean the best for me. He did not even mean it in a way for me to break down. Now she know the feeling was real, but the feeling wasn't true.
I like that.
Because she's feeling like, in that moment, Brad don't like me. Brad saying stuff to me, he's just a rude human being, right? So, the feeling is real because she felt that. That's a real thing. I'm never going to tell nobody what you feel is fake. But now, let's take the time to investigate if that feeling is true.
Yeah. And as far as like is this feeling true? We have to ask the audience, like, do you love yourself?
Right.
Like,
right.
Is
exactly.
Because if you're saying you love yourself, is that true? Like, is it true?
Explore that.
Like, yeah. Do you love yourself?
Yes. But do I think that I've always loved myself? No.
I haven't either.
And there's even been times where I thought I loved myself and I didn't love myself, because if I did, I wouldn't have put myself in these situations. You know what I mean? So, yes, I think it takes a lot of growth, right? And a lot of that comes with your relationship with God.
Yeah.
It boils down to that. Like, when I sit back and look at things in life where I'm like, dang, I couldn't have made it through. I know that I made it through for a reason. And I know God was the main reason I made it through, right? So, if he loves me that much to bring me out of situations that I didn't love myself enough not to put myself in, then it's almost blasphemous for me not to love myself.
Exactly.
When somebody else loves me that much, right? So I truly understand people. I'm telling you, we're not coming from no ill intent when we tell you, explore these thoughts, explore these, have the hard conversation with yourself, right? A famous coach once said, anything worth having is on the other side of hard. So you have to work. This stuff don't just fall in line. You don't just pray and you're fixed. You have to take a deep dive in yourself. You have to look at the parts of yourself that you hate and realize, why do I hate this part of myself? What led me to hate this part of myself? And is there a way right now I can fix it, or does it take many steps to fix it?
You need to be in somebody's pulpit. No, let me stop. communication.
Okay.
You earlier you had said something about communication, and I'm glad it came back up. My therapist had mentioned something about how do you talk to yourself? How do you speak to yourself? And this is how I know I didn't always like love myself because of how I did and sometimes still speak negative, um, speak negative to myself. And I didn't realize it. So the therapist is like an accountability partner because she was like, "So the things you say to yourself, say it to me." I was like, "No."
That's hard.
And that it hit me. It was like a gut punch.
So
like,
with that being said, right there, right? When you're talking to yourself, if you would not tell that to yourself, that's what you said to yourself to someone else about you, why are you saying it to yourself?
Right.
I used to do the same thing, right? When I played football, right? If I mix a play, man, you're so stupid. Why did you miss that? You knew where to go. Da, 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 da. Man, how can you? I'm beating myself down. Like, for what?
I forgot you.
Where the good part of it was, you knew what to do. Why didn't I focus on that part of me, right?
Yeah.
It's because I didn't love myself enough. I wouldn't even say I didn't love myself, but maybe I didn't feel like I was enough, right? So everything had to be perfect, right? But you're perfect in his image anyway. So if you're trying to change anything to be perfect, then that is your imperfection. And that's where that self-loathing comes from. That self-hate comes from. Is that you're trying, instead of me looking in the mirror and saying, I'm perfectly me, nobody else could be me like I could be me.
Exactly.
I'm looking and saying, that guy has bigger shoulders than me. I need to hit the gym a little harder. This guy runs faster than me. I'm not working out hard enough. This guy jumps higher than me. I'm not working out hard enough. Now, while all those things may be true, you have to measure you against you. I can never be somebody else, but I can always be me. So if I want to get faster for me to be more effective in the thing I'm trying to be faster at, I need to look at how I miss stride or things I could do to improve me.
That's so good.
Because that person can never be my barometer. He was given a whole different set of tools than I was. He was given a whole different set of starting points than I was, right? Comparison is always going to be the thief of joy, with the caveat of, if I'm comparing myself to a better version of me, that's where joy comes from.
Man, it's like so many different sound bites. I'm like, yo, that is a t-shirt. It's a reel. It's like, because you are like really, really dropping nuggets. Like,
get the podcast merch, y'all. We're going to have some t-shirts coming out.
I'm so serious.
The first one being, did I journal today?
I love that. I love that. What was I gonna say? So the negative self-talk, it was something else you said, the negative self-talk, and it was a phrase you used. I can't remember. Okay, so let me go in a different direction.
Okay.
Then. It'll come back. So, does a person have to fully love themselves before they're able to love another person?
You know, that question right there is such a slippery slope, right? I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Because as life gives you accountability partners, life also gives you mirrors.
Yep.
You could be my mirror to help me see what I need to work on. So I can love you enough for that to want to love myself more. I think it's more ideal to already love myself before going into a situation. But humans are not born in a vacuum. We didn't come on this world all by ourselves and we're the only person on this world. Right? So while I'm waiting to interact with other people, if I don't fully love myself, does not mean that I can not interact with people until I love myself.
Imagine that. Right? Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Because if that was the case, then we all had little pods in our house where we're close it, do not
Yep.
disturb until I
Yep.
learn myself. Put us in the
Mhm.
easy bake oven, ding, and we're fixed, right? But it don't
Yeah.
work like that. So I want to keep this
Mhm.
as realistic as possible too, where
Right. Yeah.
saying that yes, I can fully, wholeheartedly love you without fully
Mhm.
loving myself. And I think we've both been in
Mhm.
situations where we love others more than ourselves.
Oh yeah.
So were we not in love with that person because we didn't love ourselves?
Yes, we were in love with them.
Right, right.
And I would say it's kind of because I would also throw in there, did you overly love a person? Did we overly love them because of the lack of self love? You
Now,
see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
where it's like, I don't know how to give it all to myself, so I'm going to give that love to somebody else.
To expound upon that fact, I think you absolutely, when we're doing that, you look at that person as a better person than you. So now you're saying, instead of me pouring into me to make me a better person, this person that's better than me, I'm gonna pour into the best parts of that person to make sure they never come to become the person that I am because I love them that much.
That makes me so sad. Cause it's real.
But
like that.
It's a
That's a real
reality
thing.
though, right? And this is why I go about saying that sad feeling is real, but it's not true.
Yeah.
Because that should be uplifting, and lightening off of you. Once I put a finger on what I've been doing or what we've been doing, or knowledge is uplifting, right? Oh, now I know why I did that.
Yeah.
Imagine the people that been in the 12th relationship and don't know why they doing that. Right?
The bad thing. Like in the
well, it's kind of not like a bad thing. It's a bad thing to self, but it's not a bad thing to that person that they're dealing with.
Okay.
While they're saying that I pour so much in this person, if I could just pour this little bit amount into me, I could be who I wanted to be, right?
And you know, another way to look at it's like different streets, but yeah, another way to look at that, the pouring into the other person because you feel like they're better. It can also be you're pouring so much into them, trying to love them so hard because you don't feel you have value. Right. So if I love them enough, they will stay and love the little bit of me that I am.
Right. Because now, in some twisted thing in my brain, I poured so much into them that they're not the good person that I knew them to be without me being in their life.
The narcissism thing, is that like narcissism?
It
sounds a little.
It sounds narcissistic, right? But it's a thing. People always want to be a part of somebody else's success, right?
Okay.
So if I pour into you, you were a millionaire. I poured into you, you became a billionaire, right? And I'm 100,000 right?
Okay.
Now I can say I helped make a billionaire.
Oh, to give you self-worth.
Exactly.
Okay.
When you lack self-worth,
you gotta
try to find ways to devise it instead of doing the self-work to equal self-worth.
It's external.
Right. I'm pushing it into somebody else. Now I can ride this person's coattail to my own self-worth, right? But let me tell you this though. If I make that person a better person, they change their life and they go to heaven, they don't send me to heaven.
No.
I have to work on me to get to heaven. I gotta work on me to become that billionaire I just made, Trish. Right?
Thank you for making me a billionaire.
I have to work on me to get there. I can't hang my hat on her accomplishments because no matter how much I poured into her, she was already 80% there. My little 20% or my 10% or my 3% did not make her a billionaire. I have 3 cousins that made it to the NBA. Just because I passed them the ball to make a jump shot when they were kids does not mean I helped them get to the NBA.
I could, like, man, I was, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm the reason. But you find a lot of people that hate self, like, that nigga ain't this. I'm the reason he made it there. No, bro, he not. He put in the work.
Yeah.
He put in the time. He did all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I can't take that away from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pour it into me. I gotta pour that into me. You know what I mean? All the help and love that I give to everybody else, I'll never change it for a world. But now I have to take time to put that into me.
Yeah. I love that. I want to pull up Genesis 2:25.
Okay.
Which is the whole basis of Eden Moment Ministry. The whole basis of this podcast, healing, seeing self, identifying self. Let me pull it up. But it basically says, it's the story, of course, of God and Adam and Eve in the garden and all of that. And this is after, well, they were naked. Let me just pull it up. Where's Genesis? No. Genesis 2:25. It says, well, let me start at 23. The man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and his mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh."
Right.
And the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed. And I just love that whole concept, because for one, it's like, why did that need to be said? Because a lot of times people, when they're naked, they feel ashamed. And I think self-love is a becoming naked and not being ashamed. That's why, like, we won't even get into the whole thing, like sin entered in and they put the layers on, that's a whole nother conversation. But I think we all have to get to a point where we're naked.
Right. So to caveat off of this, to me, and this is why you got to have conversations like this, because Patricia gave her spill on how she felt, right? They were not ashamed. Where also I could read that same thing and get that. I had the thought. Hold on.
Oh, you want?
They were naked, right?
Yeah.
And naked is vulnerability.
Yes.
You're not no more vulnerable out in the wilderness than you are when you're naked. So what I'm saying is, now he gave me somebody that I can be 100% vulnerable with.
Ooh, that's good.
Because she sees every part of me. That's what the naked to me thinks of, the depths of me and not the outer layer of me, right? So that is how relationships are intended to be.
Yep.
All the layers of sin that we put on each other and all this and that, right? As you know, in the Bible, when they realized they were naked, right? That's when shame came in.
Yep.
That's when, I don't know if I could be vulnerable. This part of me don't look that well. Let me hide that from her. She's the only person here with me. Why do I need to hide what she has already seen of me? It's because self-love started to leave.
Brad, that's deep. I never saw it that way. I never saw that, like, because again, she came out of him, became her own self. That, wow.
So if you are of me, why do I need to hide me from you?
But then it goes back to, do you know who you are?
Exactly. Self-love right there. So you can't have self-love without a definition of who I am. Who am I really? Like, I tell everybody, you're not what you do. You're what you do consciously and consistently. So if I'm consciously making the same decision over and over, then that's who I am. But if I'm constantly making the same mistake over and over, that's not who I am. I just haven't realized that was a mistake. See, the wordplay there, consciously and consistently versus consistently making mistakes. So we have to give people grace, because we don't know that. We don't know if they know they're making mistakes. Or we don't know if they're choosing to be this way every single time. Right?
Wow, Brad. That's deep. It's like, what are we choosing today? Because we're coming up to the almost the end. We're at 45 minutes.
We can talk as long as you want.
Look,
till we finish all your little notes.
Look, I don't have notes. That's what I'm saying. We've been like that. That's why I was like, I love, like, conversation. It's not scripted. Whatever the Holy Spirit gives us, where this is a God thing. Like these conversations is we need to heal to know who we are.
Yes.
Right. So it's like
that's the precipice of this whole talk.
Yeah.
That self-love, you can't
real.
have it unless you know. Unless you know who you are, like, and accurately assess, am I doing things to hurt myself?
Yeah. Yeah, that's that's gonna be another topic. We gotta do it again.
Okay.
Ways you have hurt yourself.
Right.
And the effects of that. So make sure we used to record. I was gonna say write it down.
Right. we got it.
But just to kind of like wrap it up, because I want people to stick around to listen and all of that.
Right.
And we could always do a part 2, but we just read Genesis. We talked about how we see ourselves, talked about communication, how do we talk to ourselves, and we started off with the question of do you love yourself, or what is self-love? Did we answer it? Of what it is? I wanted to, if we haven't, we save it for the end and be like, this is what self-love. I think you did get an answer.
I think in the beginning, I gave an answer what it is to me. I think it's more important that we leave them with the prompts to figure out what it is for them.
Yes.
So, as the journal topics that you've been doing and that we've been saying this whole time, if you would, take a long look in the mirror. And I don't mean figuratively. I mean physically.
Yeah.
Can you look yourself in the eyes? A lot of people can't look themselves in the eyes. And that right there to me is some more often than not a sign that I don't love myself fully. I'm not saying that you don't love yourself at all.
Yeah.
You just don't love yourself fully enough to look yourself in the eyes and be like, you know what, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of who I am, right? Give yourself grace. Just because you're hurting yourself don't mean you don't love yourself. It just means you don't know how to love yourself yet. And that's why I say you have to figure out those wants and those needs that we said earlier. You also have to figure out where I want to be, where I'm going, how do I get there, how do I pour into that, and are my needs and my wants being depicted and acted on accurately enough for me to get there, right? Am I pouring into myself sufficiently enough to meet my needs? That also comes on with your wants, right? Because the wants are what make you happy. The needs are what make you stable. That's how I always look at it, right? Like, I need stability, though, as my foundation of happiness. So let me take care of these needs. That way I can start getting the things that I want. And it's all tied into my happiness. I also think what we should do for another one is describe happiness to you. Because I don't think a lot of people understand what that is. But I also think it's a caveat off of this episode where self-love leads to happiness. Nobody in this world can make you happy. You have to make yourself happy.
Yes. I like, don't get me to look, because I was about to, no, okay. I love that. Thank you. If we've gotten to this point and you're still kind of like, I don't even know how to begin the process of self-love, Brad has said it a number of times. It begins with your faith walk. It begins with your relationship with God. And I know, just, speaking for myself, and I don't know if I ever gave a definition, but I look at self-love as accepting. Love is accepting, just like the Most High has accepted us, flaws and all. He's accepted us, and no matter what, he loves us. Right. Christ died for us, knowing how trash people back then were, knowing how trash some of us are now. He still loves us and would do it all over again. So if we first got to understand who is the Most High, who is, his son, Yahusha, right? And when we get that understanding, it's like, oh, he loved me and sent his son to die for me despite who I am. Where it's an ongoing grace card. Ongoing grace card. Like, get back up. Okay, you did it. Ask forgiveness and keep it moving. As long as you have breath in your body, You can read that word. You can love yourself. You can start walking in the purpose that the Most High has given you, right? So if you're struggling, if you're like, I don't even know, because some days I'm like, learn how the Most High loves you.
Can I say this?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Do y'all think that when Jesus came down here, he loved you and that was it? I say that to say love is not enough. Faith without works is dead. Self-love requires self-work, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't just come down here and say, I love y'all, boom, all y'all sins was healed. That's not how it worked.
Yeah.
He put in hard work.
Mm-hmm.
He had disciples. He walked around, taught the people, went and healed people, showed you. He put in the work, yo. That's why faith without works is dead. Self-love, love in general, is never enough. That is a foundation and not the building. Okay?
That's it right there. Like, that's the closing. Like, oh, oof. I'm excited. This is so good. This is so good. Thank you, Brad. Like, you always like are dropping. I
told you I was gonna come through.
Like, yes. Yeah. Look, so I think we didn't signed you up for 2 more episodes.
Okay,
I think
okay. We just set it up. Like I told you, these are the best days for me when I'm not at drill. Mm-hmm. Retiring soon, so drill won't be an issue at all. So yeah, and I only got drill once a month, so that leaves 3 Sundays. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's dope. That's dope.
I'm ready to talk. If we can help people. I've always been around helping people. I've been a quiet person. Yeah. I've observed a lot of things in my life where I feel like I should have said something to somebody or maybe hurt somebody, and then times I've said something and it felt like it just didn't reach the right people. Now that I've done a lot of self-work, it don't matter if it reached them. If I was in good intention and I said what I felt they needed to hear, hopefully they take something from it, because that's what I'm called to do. Just give you how I feel that you can help your situation. That's all I want to do. Yeah. And I want to say this too. We have to let it be where they can give us some feedback. Yeah. Not only that, if they want questions that we could talk through them, like maybe we should set up like a email box or something, email box where we can reply back to them. Yes. Something not. I think our phone numbers is too personal. Right. Right. Yeah. Let's keep it business and podcast and where the fans could interact or write back, and then if they want us to expound on the thought that we have, we could do that. Like little mini shows. Right. Or even mini shows, or just to answer questions. Just put it an option if they want a mini show on it, or would they just like us might want it personal enough to where we just write a message. You know what I'm saying? Y'all heard Brad. So look, you added. I love that. So on the flyers, everything, like the Eden Moment Ministry at gmail.com. It's like a generic email where each guest will be able to, like, y'all see who it is. Like, you'll see. And if you have questions for Brad, anything you want him to expound on, or for her, or for me, thank you. Just send us that email, and we'll get it to the right person. But yeah, I love that idea. Let's see, anything else? This was great. Thank you again. So we're thanking Brad for coming and being a guest on this week's, of course, this week's episode of Eden Healing. Is there anything else you want to leave for the people? For the people, I just want to say this: you can't walk a mile without taking a step. If it's something that you want to do, just start it. You ain't got to know where you're going or none of that. We can figure it out. Just start it. I've seen people miss opportunities. They spent 10 years planning never to take a step. Let's not do that. Let's not over plan and underperform. Let's start walking to where we want to go. Let's start trying to make that progress one step at a time. Because I could plan the perfect mission all day, but if I never go towards the mission, they'll never get accomplished. That's all I want to say. I know some people probably out there thinking like, hey, man, I don't know how to start this podcast. I don't know how to start my fitness journey. I don't know how to talk my healing process. Just go. Go in the right way. Find something to go towards, and then splinter off of that, splinter off that, splinter off that. Build your
Mhm.
tree.
I
That's
love
all.
it. Look, that's all.
That's all I want to leave
Okay.
y'all.
But thank you all for joining this very first episode of Evening Healing.
I'm so happy to be a part of this, y'all.
Yes.
She is such a beautiful person.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I don't think that I could have did this with anybody else. Right.
Yeah.
I've had podcast opportunities come about for other people and other things, but this one felt the most right. And this is my first time ever on a podcast. You can't see me anywhere else besides this one right here. This is the first time, and
Amen.
I'm just happy to get to talk with her, and hopefully we get to help some people. That's all.
Amen. Amen. So, again, this is where conversations promote healing and true identity. If you like this topic today and want to continue the journey of self-reflection, check out my free journals, workbooks, and other books available for purchase at linktree.ee/Ms. Patricia Marie MZ. And I'll put all that in the description and all that good stuff. But God bless. Continue your healing and just hit us up if you have questions.